Good morning, grade 9s. Today's lesson will be on bearing. My first thing that I'm going to mention is why would we want to use bearing and what is it? So let's start with what is it. Now, bearing is just a method that you can use to indicate direction. Okay, so normally maybe you will say northwest or northeast or whatever, but now we use 3 digits to indicate the direction. And why is it necessary? It is necessary because let's say we are building a bridge and it's an arc bridge, so you start from one side and you also start from the other side and you want to meet in the middle. It's very important for someone on the other side of the bridge to know exactly what your position is. Okay, so you need to give your position to each other. Okay, with relation to where the other guy is standing or where the other object is. Okay, so it's very important so that the bridge will meet at the middle and that you won't have a difference, like a 5 centimeter difference or something like that. It can actually cause major problems. So let's look at what I mean by how we will measure it. Let's say there we have our north, west, south and east, or north, east, south and west. Now, if this is a 30 degrees, okay, and this is the angle that we need to measure, then how will we do it? We always measure from the north in a clockwise direction, and we always give the answer in 3 digits, okay? So can you see, even if the answer is only 2 digits, like 30 degrees, then you have to put a digit of 0 in front. Okay, so you always give 3 digits. If it's just 2 digits, you have to put the 0 in front. Okay, it looks funny, but that's the way it is. So this is very important. Please do not write for me 30 degrees. It will be wrong. Must be 30 degrees. Now, if it's more than 2 digits, of course, it's just easy because it will stay the same, like 200 degrees or whatever. Okay, right, so let's have a look at a few examples. What do I mean by everything that I'm talking about? The key to remember here, when we get to do with bearings, is that a 3-figure bearing is a clockwise angle, that's extremely important, and it's always measured from the north. Okay, so typically what we'll give you is let's call it 2 spots or 2 places. So we'll give you a dot there that indicates the position of the boat or the ship, and there we'll give you a dot indicating the position of the lighthouse. What you'll do is you will connect the 2 with a straight line, the 2 dots. You'll just connect the dots, and then you will indicate your north direction as well. Okay, depending on where you're measuring from, you will also indicate your north direction. And the north direction would be given to you, but you'll just have to make sure that you draw another north direction, pointing in the same way, in the same direction. Also with the ship, there's your north. Okay, so let's look at these questions. We can measure the bearing of the lighthouse from the ship. The bearing of the lighthouse from the ship. So where do you measure? You measure at the ship. Okay, because they say you measure the bearing of the lighthouse from the ship. Okay, so you must make your measurement at the ship. Okay, so that's where you start. You take your protractor, you make sure that your 0 is right on the dot there, and then you measure in a clockwise direction starting from the north 50 degrees. So what will it be? 050 degrees. Okay, number B. we can also measure the bearing of the ship from the lighthouse. So from the lighthouse means we will be measuring at the lighthouse in a clockwise direction, starting from the north, like that, will give us 230 degrees. But this is a bit tricky because we can't really measure 230 degrees using a protractor. Okay, protractor only goes up to 180 degrees. So what do? We measure this part here, and that we need to subtract from 360 degrees to give us the 230 degrees. So you'll measure 130 there, then you subtract it from 360, you'll get 230, because this is the one we're interested in, the clockwise measurement from the north. Okay, let's look at a few more examples. Here we have two questions that we're going to look at. Let's start with question 1. In the three diagrams below, what is the bearing of the buoy from the ship? Can you see it's underlined from the ship, meaning we need to start measuring at the ship. So at the ship, you can see there's north directions everywhere, and then you measure in a clockwise direction the number of degrees. So this is 70 degrees. Here it's 120 degrees. Now remember, if it's 70 degrees, only 2 digits, but you have to place a 0 in front. Okay, so it's 0, 70 degrees. And then for question B, clockwise direction, 120 degrees. That's your answer. Number C, clockwise direction. Can you see we have to go past 180 degrees? So what do? You just measure this one. You see that it's 83, so then you subtract it from, 80 degrees, so you subtract it from 360, it gives you 280 degrees. Okay, let's look at our last example here. Give the bearings of the helicopter from the landing pad. Can you see there's 2 dots given there? There's 2 dots given there indicating the position of the landing pad as well as the helicopter. So what do? We draw our north lines straight up. Okay, then we connect the 2 dots, and then we can start to measure. So the bearing of the helicopter from the landing pad, meaning we need to start measuring at the landing pad. You place your protractor there, on the 0 must be on the dot, remember, or the center of the protractor must be on the dot. Then you measure clockwise. Don't make a mistake with your protractor. Clockwise, 72 degrees. Okay. Then the second question, because remember now, if it's 72 degrees, it's only 2 digits. There must be a 0 in front, 072 degrees. And then the landing pad from the helicopter. So from the helicopter means you start at the helicopter. So what do? We're not going to actually measure this. We will measure this part here. That is 108 degrees, and then we subtract it from 360 degrees. That will give us 252 degrees. That is the bearing. But what if you're clever, you can see that what do we have here? Co-interior angles. They must give us 180. So if we know this is 72 degrees, this one will be 180 minus 72 degrees, giving us 108 degrees. So then you don't have to use your protractor, but you can decide. Okay. Then what else is there? I will also give you this sheet here. This is a very important part of a bit of information on the left. I want you to just note that it's very important. And you can look at another example here. We've done a lot of examples. You can just look at that one as well. And then what I want you to do is this exercise, and you can try and do for question 3. Actually, for all of these you'll need a protractor, and you'll need the hard copy. So I can send a photo and maybe you can print it out and then do it. Okay, that's the best idea. Right, hope you enjoyed the video. You can always like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks guys.